welcome back to the James and Jaden Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about real estate and whatever else comes up. How's it going, Jaden?
Going very well. How are you doing?
Living the dream. We're at that stage right now where, do you wear shorts or do you wear long pants? And trust me, that's a big thing here. You know,
for me, it's shorts.
Correct. I probably should have still. I'm more excited about the Wild. The Wild started up today. Actually, it's Thursday. Yep. What is it? The 8th?
Lightning played yesterday. The day before. Yep.
So, yeah, that's why I got all my Wild stuff on. I'm ready to rock and roll and watch some hockey tonight. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, hey, we got a pretty exciting show today. Today we're going to talk about basically building our team. What do we have in the very beginning to what we have now as our team. Probably talk a little bit about, we were right in the trenches in the very beginning, right? What are we doing now? So kind of want to talk a little bit about that. So basically, how to build, lead, and scale a winning team inside a real estate business from acquisitions all the way up to marketing. So we're going to talk a little bit kind of like where we were at before, where we're going now, what our roles are. What are we doing now, Jaden, inside of our business? And then what I always like to go over, what kind of mistakes have we made? And how can we maybe help somebody in our audience of like not to make that mistake?
It's been a long
episode. We have a long list on that, right?
We'll cover a couple.
Should we start a different podcast on there? What not to do?
We'll do a separate podcast about mistakes. How about that one?
Brady, let's make sure we everything that you could go wrong.
What not to do in real estate investing.
Yeah, we pretty much nailed that one down to pretty good, right?
I think so.
Okay, so what made you realize you couldn't keep going and doing this yourself? We're going to talk about that because we both, when you start a business, right, you jump into it so deep, it gets to a point where you got to pull yourself out. And I think both of us have pulled ourselves out twice at different times, and probably just our MO. Home Guys has been the longest company I've ever been with, and it's something we created. And I believe you're on the same path, right?
Exact same thing. My longest job by a huge margin.
Yeah. So, let's just kind of get started. So breaking down what affects the eternal team looks like from a real estate investment company. Let me start over. Break down what an effective internal team looks like from a real estate investment company. So I don't know if we want to jump into this right away.
I think we should back up a little bit because let's set the stage a little bit first. So I'd like to go back and talk about, where we started at and how it was, when we were me and you with a small team, how that looked like over time and why we grew and, what the reasons for all of it was. So I think we just start there. So I don't know, maybe do you want me to start off with, because I started it first. So maybe we start with me since I was the first one doing this.
There you go. Yep.
So I actually started in 2005. So was it 20 years ago? I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is like the standard book that people read before they get into real estate investing. So I read that. I was an engineer at the time. I just got out of college, started electrical engineering at an aerospace company. And they had me in a World War II factory with no windows in Iowa. And I was there for a week, and I was like questioning my life decisions for sure. And I spent 5 years this grueling degree program to get this job. I got it. I'm like, I don't think I can do another day here. So I read that book, and I'm like, okay, I got to buy. I know nothing about business or real estate or anything. I just know engineering. So I'm like, I'll go buy a rental and figure this out. So I did that, bought a rental, fixed it up myself, rented it myself, did everything myself so I could learn. And then after I got my first check, I'm like, well, I cleared $100 of profit basically for a month. And I'm like, well, that's not going to pay my bills. So
you didn't want to rinse and repeat that method?
No. So then I basically figured out, okay, well, this isn't the answer. So I went and got a different job that I liked a lot better. And I just did real estate on the side for years, which was a good fit. I could do rentals and flip stuff here and there on the side, and I had good income, and it was really a nice way to do things. So I did that for 6 years. I did that. Felt like a lot longer, but it was only 5 or 6 years. And then when the real estate market crashed across the country, I just piled in. I just got every dollar I could get my hands on and bought rentals because it just seemed like a great opportunity to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as I was buying rentals, I had an agent that was helping me buy the rentals. He said he could help me. I'd fix them up, and then he would be like, I could sell it for twice what you paid for it. And so that's how I ended up flipping. So did that. Was doing this on the side for all those years. And then in 2016, so after 11 years of that, I just got tired of traveling the country for my job. I was working for Intel, covering 19 states for technical sales. And I had little kids at home. I didn't want to travel anymore. And I missed real estate because I was gone so much I couldn't do real estate anymore. So I was like, I just figured I'd quit and go full time. So that was 2016. So I was first full time person in the business, quote unquote business. I started out just doing solo work. I'm like, I'll just flip houses on my own, not have a job, work by myself. I thought that was the dream. I'm like, I'll just work by myself and this is going to be awesome. And I did it for like maybe a month. And I'm like, this sucks. You go to work every day by yourself. And it just wasn't very much fun. I don't mind the work. Like the actual work was fine, but I was used to having teammates and people to work with and stuff, and like talk, shoot the crap with, and ask questions to, and just kind of like live your life with, and I don't know, camaraderie. And it was just me managing contractors and subs, and like they weren't hanging out with me. So
well, that's so funny because your personality is not necessarily that.
I'm a super introvert, so you'd think that's why I thought I'm a super introvert. I'm gonna love not having to talk to people, not having a boss, just working by myself. And I loved it for about a day, I think.
Right.
So it wasn't as great as I thought it would be.
I think we discovered a lot about ourselves on this, where I was always thinking I could talk to everybody and I can deal with everybody, but I need that quietness. I think what's pretty cool is you actually need a little bit of, you need people in your life too.
I do. Yeah.
And I need less people in my life at times.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool how
we balance each other pretty well. Yeah. I think I first learned this, but apparently I didn't learn it very well when I was in engineering, because I would do engineering. A lot of engineering jobs are like, go sit at your desk, do engineering work, and then go sit in the lab and do lab work pretty much by yourself.
Right.
All day. And I would spend like an entire day or a whole week doing that. And I'm like, I talked to 0 people all week, or, close to 0, or like very little conversation. And I was like, I don't like this. I figured that out in that job. I'm like, I don't like this. There's a lot of people I worked with that loved that. just exactly doing that.
Right. They don't act with people.
Yeah. So my next job I ended up going into technical sales, because it turns out as far as an engineer goes, I'm actually a very personable, outgoing engineer. So there aren't very many of them.
There is such a joke there. But you're 100% correct. I mean, you're a different kind
I'm an anomaly. So
yeah,
I discovered that when the second company I worked at, I discovered I was an anomaly, or they did. I don't know. Maybe both of us figured it out, and that I was really effective in sales, in technical sales, not normal sales. And so I just did that. I became a technical sales director really quickly, small company, and then I went and did field sales after that for a number of years. Not related to real estate. Sorry for the tirade. But yeah, so I did that, and I've had a job that I really liked and did real estate on the side, and went full time in 2016. Did that. Then I started working with James. James was a neighbor of mine, and maybe you want to jump into what you knew about this when you first heard me talking about it, and why you decided you wanted to get into this.
So I knew I wanted to get into it because I've been in construction my whole life, right? And I knew that I could probably add value. I was probably like everybody else, Jaden, to be honest with you. It's like, I got to get into flipping. That's what HGTV does, right? That's what I got to do this. But I also knew that I had skills that I could actually do the work also. So it was, I guess, a lot of people have been with us or know, we actually met because of boot hockey. Right. And we started playing boot. Jaden lived next door to the guy that we both knew that we met because of this guy named Dave. And that's how literally we both started, because he kept telling me, hey, I've been flipping this house. I'm like, hey, I'm a firefighter. I work 10 days a month. Let me help you out. And you kept going, why do you want to help me out? You just
I don't believe you.
You never understood that. I was like,
doesn't make any sense.
This guy's weird. After you got to know me, then he's like, no, he was spot on.
Like, yep, he is weird.
Yep, exactly. So again, I kind of hounded you, right? And I'm like, hey, let me help you out. Let me help you out. And we did a couple jobs together. I job souped them. And you're like, oh, you tell them, like, tell everybody what you thought of me.
Yeah, I had been working with different, handyman type guys and stuff on these projects, and you did a project for me. I think it was a rental property that was put on the market, and that might have been, I think it was probably the first project we did together. And you showed up and did the work you said you were going to do. You did it in the same frame you said you would do it. The work was high quality. You charged me what you said you were going to charge me. Like, it was just, I had never experienced any of that in the construction.
I realized that I did undercharge you, so I'm still waiting for a paycheck.
Yeah, and you had a pretty low rate. And I paid you what you asked me to pay you.
I know. I'm still kicking myself.
You like to say I underpaid you. I'm like, I paid you exactly what you asked for.
You're absolutely correct.
So if you got underpaid, it was because you charged too little.
Yep, you were absolutely correct.
But that was part of why. I mean, you were charging less than the other guys I had worked with too. So I'm like, well, geez, this is like better on every front.
Well, part of it was I didn't know that side, but again, I still wanted to get my feet.
Well, I figured you didn't know, and I figured you would figure it out soon enough, and I'd get charged more. So that I wasn't too worried about it. That you wouldn't figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, because I think I was paying, I don't know, 30% more probably to the other guys I worked with, and they were okay. They'd get the work done, but it would be like, when they felt like getting it done, the quality would be okay sometimes. Mm-hmm. So it was just, it was nice to be able to like actually trust somebody. That was the biggest thing, is I felt like I could trust you, and I didn't feel like I could trust any of these other guys. Like, it was very hit or miss with these other guys. Never was always worried they might steal something, or I don't know. I was always worried about different things.
So you fill in when you need to, because I'm going to tell the story of how we basically figured we wanted to work together, right? I mean, I think we kind of figured that out. This is before.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Jaden, he truly is my best friend. My wife is my best friend, right? But Jaden is my true best friend, and it's like we became best friends because of this business, and I'm so appreciative of it. Everything that we've done in this business for the last is it gone 12 years now? I mean, we've known each other for.
Yeah, I think we've known each other since 2012, probably. So we've probably known each other for 13 years. Yeah, it's 13 years or so.
You're right, and gosh, I mean, I love that our friendship has come this far, and we're able to do something that's what I think I like, and I think that's where you like it. We're doing stuff with people that we want to do things with.
Yeah,
we're in
agreed. Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought when I was doing that flipping houses by myself. I'm like, I would much more prefer this work if I could go to work with somebody that I like hanging out with all day and do the same work, but work with people you like to work with. And like, since I had control over my own destiny, I'm like, I could pick people I actually want to work with instead of just working with whoever works at the company. But it's interesting if you look back on it, like how much God's hand was in all of it, because I had just left my job, just flipped one house. I flipped one house on my own with this other handyman contractor guy that I don't think you even ever saw. I'm not even sure if you ever saw that one. That was the first project I ever did. And right after I got that one, I got this townhouse in Hopkins, and you ended up doing most of the work on that one.
Yeah, I did that.
Well, probably 2/3 of the work, because I had another guy that helped a little bit too. But it was like almost like right when I started this business and realized I wanted to work with somebody else. Like right at the same time, you were hitting me up about, hey, I can help you with, and you bothered me a number of times about it, that you could help me with projects. And I was still hesitant, but I'm like, oh, well, I wouldn't mind working with somebody else, and you keep bugging me, so yeah, why don't you go try this project?
Why not figure out this guy?
Yeah, and then you did that townhome went really well, and we did a couple more, and then I think really quickly it just went real quick. So that's why I said it was like a total God thing, because the timing of all of it went so fast.
Right. So okay, we're going, you guys. He started in 2016. So was it 2016 or 2017?
2016 is when I started.
Started. Okay, so now it's 2016. I'm going with him down this path, right? I'm not 100% in. I'm just doing the work for him. So this
You're
is,
just doing side jobs basically for me.
let's call this what, September of 2016?
Yeah. Yep.
And then that's where it continued. I did a couple projects over the summer. It had to be the summer because I remember doing it in the summer too.
It was summer and fall. Yeah.
Summer and fall, and then we went down to the bar. So now it's probably spring.
Well, you're missing a key point. When we were at one of these projects you were working at this point, you were just doing construction work for me.
Yep.
When we were at one of the projects, I was like, hey, I have to go do a sales call while we're running to Ace Hardware to get materials. I got to stop by and talk to this seller. You can just sit in the car or whatever. I'll go talk to her and buy this house. And
anyways, I got to tell that story.
let me just. So we were going to go to like Ace Hardware to get something. On the way, we had to stop by the seller, and I was going to give her a contract and see if I could buy her house, and then you can tell the rest of the story.
Okay, so you guys, I don't even know that I'm going on a sales call. Yeah, I don't. You're saying that it was a sales call. You just said you needed to stop by this house. We didn't even say sales in it. You just said we're going to stop by this house. I'm like, okay, I'll stop by with you. Well, you get up there, and then I started realizing this is a sales call. And then I realized, wait a minute. That's when I just my typical skills just kick in. I start asking, where you're from. Oh, you're from the same. I went to the same high school. 6 years later, I started making this person feel. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I had no clue what I was building a rapport with this person. Now, obviously, that's how you build rapport, right? Is you just continue to talk. Everything. I thought everything was going great. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm stepping on Jaden's toes here. I get back into the car. The very first thing out of my mouth is, I'm very sorry if I stepped on your toes. But he looks at me and he goes, no, you did. Awesome, dude. There's no way I could have ever done what you just did.
Yeah. Well, the reason I said
hold on. A week later, we signed this lady up. I gave this lady a hug. And you were like, how did you know to give that lady a hug? I'm like, I don't know. I literally, and that's a whole different story we can go down of how I ended up learning my skills. But you guys, I'm very emotional. I really grasp other people's emotions, and I see they need a hug. They need a hug. But it was that call that really changed it for me. Like, I can do this, especially with your help, Jaden. You guys, you don't realize this guy has helped me out so much on different. Now I know I've helped him out a lot too, but gosh, he's really. You've been a true brother on that. You really have, and I really, again, I always say that.
Appreciate that. It's been fun. I thought you gave her a hug on that first meeting. If you didn't give her a hug, it was very close to that. I mean, I remember getting in the car and I was like, "What just happened? What was that? Like, what did you just do?"
Did we come up with the plan yet? We didn't even have.
This was just something that we did on the way to Ace Hardware. And I was after that walkthrough, I'm like, there's no way she's not selling us her house.
Right.
Like, it's just a matter of like a couple more conversations. And I even gave her a contract there because I had actually bought the first few houses that I did, just bringing a contract to the meeting. And
but remember the mistake you made with her?
What's that?
The biggest mistake you made with her?
Gave her my phone number.
Yep.
Well, luckily she liked you a little bit more than me, so she bothered you more than me. But
I know, but she for some reason didn't call me at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh, she would call me. That's right, she would.
So I don't understand how that got passed. But whatever.
She was calling me all the time.
Okay, so we're excited now, right? We got our first deal. I don't even know it's my deal. It's really that's kind of where we started to.
You gave me a big assist on it, but I was still the salesperson that did everything other than relationship building.
Right.
But then we went to the bar and I think we were just kind of having beers and talking, and I was like, we did that one, and I was in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're actually, first of all, I was like really impressed with your construction and project management abilities. So I'm like, okay, that's really valuable. And then we went into the sales thing, and I'm like, you're even more valuable as a salesperson. Mm-hmm. And so in this business, like the two biggest things in the business are sales and project construction management. Right. So I'm like, okay, then it's clicking in my mind. I'm like, I don't think James should just be like some like side project, help me out here and there kind of guy. Like, he should be in this business. And first of all, I was already like kind of like thinking about getting out of the business at that point because flipping houses by myself was getting kind of boring and not very much fun. So I was like, what if we sat down and turn this into a business where James actually comes into it full time, and then like actually build out a team and turn this into a real thing. Because I wanted to work with people and I didn't want to do it by myself.
Right.
I real quickly learned I don't want to be a solopreneur. So we sat down on a napkin. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, well, who do we need on the team? We need a project manager. We need a salesperson. We need an office admin person. We might need someone to answer the phones. So I was like, I think we had like 5 or 6 people. I made a little org chart on the napkin, put in like salaries for each one. So total it all out, the total number of like how much the payroll is going to be. I was like, how many deals do we have to get to support that payroll at 40K a deal or whatever the profit was at the time. And I think I figured, I'm like, well, if we did, I'm like, I think we did 30. Was it 30 deals? We're trying to get 30 deals, I think.
Yeah, we had 30 deals and we were going to do that in a year. That was our plan.
I think if we do 30 deals in a year, we'll make like close to $1 million gross profit, and that'll be enough to pay for everybody. And we can have a team that we like working with, and we can all make decent money and do work we like, and bring our dogs to the office, or if we want to, or whatever else you want to do. Have beer at work, which we did at first. So we had beers in the fridge. That stopped pretty shortly, but that was my idea. So we did the 30 houses for the goal, and then had an idea of the type of people we needed to hire.
We wrote it on a napkin.
And we didn't keep the napkin apparently. I think I probably took a picture of it though. Maybe, I don't know.
Gosh, if we can find,
I should probably find that. Then it was like, okay, so this is what we did. And James was working at this firefighter thing, and he was helping me. So we started doing this to try to get these 30 houses. And he keeps on having to leave for his fire job, like, every 4 days or whatever. And I was like,
every 4 days. Did you guys pick up on that? Every 4 days.
It was like too much.
This is way too much, James.
You can't be leaving if we're trying to get 30 houses. So then it was like, well, James needed some assurance that we had enough business to pay him. So I think we had to, I'm like, once we get to 10 houses locked up, then I'll feel good enough about the pipeline to pay you. So that was, I think our original goal was to get 10. Once we had 10, you could leave your firefighter.
No, you said, you looked at me and go, no, wait. Go to 15. We're
15. I think I probably said 10, then was
20,
like 15.
And then I'm like, dude, we just got to do this. And
probably kept pushing the number up.
But hold on. You did that on purpose, because that's where your heart comes in. And you're like, I don't want to tell this guy to quit his job, to,
of course,
firefighter. And then all of a sudden this fails. I'm going to feel bad. So you had to take that off your shoulders, right? I mean, you had to and I had to tell you, how many times did I like, dude, this is my decision.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was like, I don't want you making some decision and then I'm the one that caused it to happen,
Right.
Because there's risk involved in it, obviously. So anyway, we ended up getting like, I think we got 30 properties under contract pretty quickly, like within 3 or 4 months or something.
We had it within 3 months, Jaden, because that's my story.
Crazy. That's crazy. We got those 30 properties in like 3 months, and it was like, okay, this is actually, I mean, maybe even bigger than we were thinking it was going to be. Mm-hmm. So, but I never built a business like that. I'd never done anything like that, so I had no idea,
So hey, we got us to this point, and I think I love where we're going down, and I love this path. I want to take it right from here. Is how did we're physically in the business. Let's give them our first hire. Our first hire was Jen, my wife, right? And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, is because we knew that we needed someone to keep Jaden and I on path, right? We're entrepreneurs. We have squirrel syndrome, shiny object syndrome. And we needed somebody. So we needed an integrator, and our best integrator right from the start. I told Jaden, we got to pick my wife. So his first response was, dude, what if we have to fire her? I'm like, that's not what I'm paying attention to, but if we have to fire her, we have to fire her. I mean, that's just what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. I mean, you guys, everybody looks at us and we're like, how the hell do you work with your wife all the time? It's because it is what it is. She's vested. She's 100% vested in the company. She's always going to be vested in the company, right? Of where we're at. So I actually got Jaden to commit, and we're going to hire Jen. So now...
Yeah. I want to just step back. Why would an office person need to be your first hire? And why would that likely be the first hire for probably anybody doing this? Is because most people that are getting into this, like we did, are probably entrepreneurial, probably visionary type people, probably and salespeople, like people that can do sales that are visionaries and entrepreneurs. They tend to be this same kind of personality that's similar to me and James, and that personality is terrible at paperwork and details and stuff like that. So you can that kind of person can work by themselves. Like an assistant is pretty important pretty quickly for people like that. So even if you work by yourself, you should still have an assistant if you have that personality. So I would say that's most people that we talk to that want to do this kind of stuff are like very similar to me and James. So they're going to want an office person. But if somebody approached us that was more of an integrator, COO kind of person, and we have a test that can tell you that, and they're comfortable doing that kind of work, that may not be their first hire. They might want to hire a salesperson as their first hire. So it's not always the case, but I think in most cases that would be the way to go.
Right. So this is, you guys, when we hired Jen, we didn't know about PI, predictive index. We didn't know, well, okay, we knew about it, but we just didn't put it into our business of how we're going to hire. Right. I was only going off of what I know, that I knew that Jen could take an office and she could run that office and make sure it was efficient. That's all I knew.
Yeah. Well, it turned out that she tested perfectly in that test. When we finally did learn about it, she tested perfect for that job. So it just worked out pretty well.
Right. Okay. So I like what you said. So we got 3 of us. We didn't have to get a office, did we? But we did. We did. Yeah. So we had an office. We rented half of this office for like $600 a month.
No, it was cheaper than that. It was under $400.
Was it? Okay.
It's like $350, I think.
Basically, somebody else is using the other room. Jaden and I are sitting, looking at each other. We have 2 desks staring at each other. We have Jen, who's in an enclosed door in an office. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty small.
We have a bathroom that's right next to Jen. We're like, okay, we're never going to be using that bathroom, are we?
Yeah. I think having an office is really huge, though, because you go to the office and you're at work. All your work stuff can stay there. Your mindset is when you're at the office, you're working. You're not going to end up washing dishes or doing some other stupid thing while you're there.
So Knoxville guys, they have a what's that shared spot?
Oh, co-workspace.
Co-workspace, yeah.
You can people can work from home. You can work from home. I would not advise it. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, so now we're in an office. We have 3 of us. Our first hire. Oh, hold on. Let's go back. At that point in time, we're running for 3 months. Jaden's going on some sales calls. I'm probably going on the most because, unless they were.
Or we actually both went on a number of them too.
Yep, we did a lot of that. Now we get deals. Now I'm doing the project managing. I'm setting up the cleanouts. Jaden always, I'm going to say it. He's the wizard behind the curtain. That's exactly where Jaden's specialty is. He knows my specialty is more in the field. So it's our dynamics worked absolutely correct. One of the biggest things that I can tell you, as if you're going to have a partnership, I would definitely stay with 2. 3 kind of makes it tough. We can get into that later, but I like having 2 of us.
Yeah, I think I generally agree with that, but I've had companies where I've had 3 people involved and it's worked fine. So it depends on the personalities. I think if you have agreeable personalities, it can be okay. Mm-hmm. But if you have somebody that's not agreeable, probably isn't going to be okay. But that may not be okay in a 2-person partnership either. So
true. So that's what I was getting at. One of the things that I always was taught is it's a marriage. So I go to Jaden and I go, look, sometimes the children are going to come and they're going to be yapping. We always have to be on the same page. And that's where I call it. It's the marriage. It's like we can't go above and beyond somebody without the other person knowing what's going on. And so I think we've done a very excellent job at that. Understanding each of us. What we do is we actually challenge each other at points. We don't always agree with each other. In fact, I would probably say we always are trying to grab the other one to our side. That's just part of our personalities, but I'm okay with that. I love it because we can have a great dialogue all the time of should we go left or should we go right? Well, I want to go right. You want to go left. Then we go straight. No, that's it's not all the time, but it's it's a marriage, and you have to act like that.
Yeah, I think a key with that is having a lot of respect for each other. So when you have disagreements, they're respectful disagreements, and you hear each other's, you really listen to each other. So like when we have disagreements, I'm really internalizing what you're trying to say.
Yep.
Because I go into it with like the idea that James is probably right, but I'm going to try to prove him wrong. It's kind of how I take it. And I'm like, if James is right, I want to know that James is right so I can fix what I'm thinking. So that's how I look at it. But I know a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people just get defensive and want to fight or whatever. But if you look at it from the other person's perspective, has a lot of value, have a lot of respect for that person in their views, even if you don't agree with them, just treat it that way. And I think that's pretty key to working with people.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. Okay, so now we have me, you, Jen. There's three of us.
Yep.
The three of us.
Then we quickly found out. So Jen was the office manager, and I guess my thought was, well, the office manager will also answer the phone, take the leads, do the bookkeeping, do the CRM system, do all this, and a lot of that, like that kind of stuff, Jen wasn't really the right person for. So we hired a person to answer the phone for leads, which is a really critical thing to do. Like make sure you're handling your leads really well. So that was, our second hire was the leads manager, or third, however you would look at it, leads manager. And that would be, if somebody's starting out new, one of the first things I would do is get a leads manager, or you can get a salesperson that the leads go directly to.
Yeah, I always tell people the very first hire probably needs to be a hybrid. We knew we were scaling pretty fast, so we could throw somebody in there as a leads person right out of the gates. I believe she took phone calls from like 8 to 5. I then had the phone from 5 to 9.
Yeah.
And I would answer that darn thing all the time.
And that was, I think when you're starting out, it's important for owners to be very involved in that lead intake process and answer the phone at least some of the time, because you'll get experience, you'll learn a lot, and you just get more deals too. Like if you're the owner, answer the phone, you're going to get a lot more deals.
Jaden, I believe that's why our business, when we scale, I think it's scaling because we jump in some of those spots, and so we understand them more. So what I'm getting at is we had a leads guy quit one time, and then all of a sudden we jumped in, and then we were like, wait a minute, this person was doing things not the correct way. Why didn't they tell us? Well, they just didn't know. We know as business owners. So sometimes jumping in your business and knowing in different departments, it's a good thing. It's the reason why I know I'm getting a little off topic here, but when I jumped in the construction side, I did an audit and I realized we're spending too much money here. What the heck's going on? So that's what kicked it off of us trying to find a different contractor, right?
Yeah.
So you're right. I believe you have to dive in there, especially in the beginning, to understand each spot.
But once you do that, you can get a leads manager. The nice thing with the leads manager is you can have multiple salespeople then on your team, and they can send different people out to different sites. So as you grow, and they can also really do really well on following up with people and making sure that when the phone rings, it gets answered, which is really critical. The last thing you want to do is have the phone ring and no one answer it.
Right.
You do not want to let that happen. So these leads are very expensive.
Now I got it. We decided to make a business in the spring of 16. No, 17. 17, that's right. August, I got it somewhere. I want to say August 9th, August 10th is when I quit.
Yeah.
You've already quit for a whole year, so you got a full time a year ahead of me being self-employed.
Yeah. I quit about a year before you did.
Yeah. And then I quit, and then so now there's 3 of us. No, there's 4 of us.
We hired the leads manager, and we didn't know how to hire people, so we just hired like somebody. That's
right. Which that somebody happened to be one of our guys who's still with us today, Brad.
Well, this leads manager, if you remember, was that she was only with us for like 5 months, maybe.
Yes.
She didn't work out. But then after we had hired her, then we wanted to. This is one thing I saw was you were doing most of the sales calls, and I was like, well, what if James goes on vacation for a week? That's not going to be good. So I'm like, we need to have 2 salespeople. Then if James goes on vacation, we still have a salesperson making sales calls. So we brought Brad. Brad had been flipping houses on his own. He actually had gotten into flipping houses through me a couple of years before, and so he was kind of he was going to help us kind of on contract part-time basis with sales and then also some project management stuff because he had done both things, and he was a sales guy by career, and so he was helping us kind of part-time-ish or whatever. And then I think it just led pretty quickly into he had sold a flip, and I think he just realized he's like, I'd rather just do this work and not have to worry about all the other stuff, with flipping houses. Because being the one guy flipping a house by yourself it's a lot to handle, and you don't get to hang out with anybody all day. So he just started working for us full time pretty quickly, doing both. He was the hybrid sales guy / construction manager, doing both. So that was kind of cool.
Hey, I think we need to let people know where are we at for how many houses we have now. So it's 2016. I know by November we have 30 properties.
We had 30 properties that we were actually actively working on. Yeah. I went and found a private lender. Well, a guy in my network that I had done some business with that was a partner with me on a different project, I knew had a lot of capital. And I called him up and I said, hey, what would you think about lending some, capital for these projects? And so he, I think he already did stuff like that. So he started doing loans with us, and he was doing 100% financing. So I was like, let's go. Like, what? 100% financing. Let's just get as many houses as we can get.
We made that guy a lot of money that year.
He made a lot of money. Yeah. So we bought 30 houses, mostly with his funds. But once he only funded the house. Once the house was purchased, we funded everything else. We funded all the carrying costs and all the rehab, everything else, which was quite expensive. So we still had a lot of capital ourselves to do this, just so everybody knows. It wasn't like this was a free thing to go do.
Right.
So yeah, we had 30 properties we were working on, and then through the spring there, and then I think we hit the spring market with a number of them and did pretty well, I think. And then we just kept going, kept rolling. So we added Brad as a sales guy, construction manager. So we're at 5. We added Dave shortly after that, I think. So 6.
Dave was more, I want to say, in the springtime.
Well, he was helping us out part-time, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Because he was in the office along with Brad around the same time. So Dave was another boot hockey guy. He was actually the guy with the rink, with the boot hockey rink. And Brad played boot hockey as well. So our first 6 people, other than the leads manager who didn't work out, all the people that worked out were all related to boot hockey.
But wait, there's more people we hired from our neighborhood.
You, Brad, Dave, who owned the rink, and then Jen, who was married to you and lived down the street from the rink. So it was like basically a boot hockey company. Essentially, is what it was. So yeah, we got Dave came in and helped us with kind of project management stuff and like handyman. Yeah, little things. And then so that was. And then we had to change our leads manager over to somebody else. Who was after Dave? Who did we bring after Dave? I think was Matt the next person?
Matt must have come in there. He came in there. Oh, yes. Because Matt and Dave are probably at the same time. Matt just graduated from college, and Matt's still with us today. He was 23 years old. He rolls in on it with a suit. I wasn't even in the interview, but my first impression was, you'll never wear that suit again if you work here. And of course, he's still in my phone to this day as Matt intern.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is he was our marketing intern and he had a marketing degree. And I don't think he's done any marketing ever for us.
He did.
Did he?
Hold on. Let's give him credit where credit's deserved, right?
No, I think we hired him for something different. Like we called him a marketing intern, but he like quickly got rotated into other jobs.
Right. Matt, in my opinion, is not a true salesperson. Matt learned how to be a salesperson.
He doesn't have the natural personality.
Yeah, which 100%. He'll tell you that too. But our system, the way we have it set up, is he fit in there 100%. You guys, he's not going anywhere. He's 30 years old now. He loves the company he works for. Same thing with Brad.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, back to Matt though. I think we called him a marketing intern, and in a small business like this with 6 people, you just kind of do everything, So it's not like you really have a title, but his title was marketing intern, which I think is funny. Right. I think he became the leads manager almost immediately because.
Hold on. We got to give him credit where credit's deserved. He did do one thing in marketing. He's the one that came with our tagline.
Oh, but that was I think he did that after he was.
No. Right. I was just giving him kudos for.
Oh yeah, he came up with our slogan, "Stress free without the fees." We had a big.
You gotta sing it, dude. Stress free without the fees. Minnesota home.
Yeah, that was Matt, but that was after he was a leads manager. No, all of it. The whole point I was trying to make was that it didn't really matter what title we gave him. He was just one of 6 people in a small company and was going to do whatever needed to be done.
Yep.
Which turned out to be leads management because our leads manager quit very shortly after he got hired.
Yeah, that's right. We just moved to the new place now. So now we're 6 months in. This is how quick it moved. We went from 400 square feet to 1,500 square feet.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And then we went from 1,500 to 3,000, and now we're right back at, I think, about 2,500 maybe.
I think our current place is about 3,000, isn't it? Pretty similar.
Oh, wait a minute. It's way bigger than that because, okay, we actually own it now. We have a basement. You're right.
We bought an office. That's for a different episode. We bought it's about 3,000. I think it's about 3,000. Plus we have a basement that's finished partly.
Yep, you're correct.
Yeah.
We have room to grow. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we don't need anything bigger than this unless we, grow the construction business massively.
So Jaden, we now just kind of went through, we started growing. I want to kind of speed it up a little bit where now we started, when we hired a lot of people from our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing, but what I will tell you, we were growing so fast, we needed people that we could trust right out of the gates. Now we have a philosophy where we have a slow to hire, fast to fire versus quick hire, slow to fire.
Everyone says not to hire your personal network kind of stuff. It's like common advice not to do that. I think for us, it worked out relatively good, actually.
We had a few bad hires in there from our people.
We definitely had some things that didn't work out that great, but on the net, for not knowing anything about what we were doing, it actually worked out pretty well. Now, I'd say now that we are where we are, we know what we know, and we know how to hire people, we wouldn't do that now. But where we were at the time, it worked. Obviously it worked. So I think if we started over from scratch now and knowing what we know, we wouldn't do that because we know how to hire the right people for the right jobs now.
Well, this falls right back into the business in a box that we're doing for licensing, right? I mean, we have set it up so you don't have all the failures that we had. We can pretty much go, here's where you need to be. Here's your first hire. Here's
what that person looks like. Here's how you find them. Here's their job description. Here's how you pay them. Here's how you incentivize them. Here's how you measure my KPIs. Yeah, all that stuff. But we didn't know any of that stuff for sure.
So, and again, I'm kind of going back to the business in a box again. We're taking all of that out of you. We're getting you to your destination a lot quicker because we're giving you a path, right? Our path was take a left here. This is a dirt road. Now we got to back up, right? We're leading you down a path of, hey, this works. We know it works.
It's paved road. We paved the road for you.
I love it. You're exactly right. We paved the road for you.
One of the key things that we do is this predictive index test, which actually you can't really get access to as an individual person or company, but we have access to it through the size of our company and our network, and we use it all the time. It tells you personality profiles and how they fit in different jobs. It is incredibly useful for getting the right people in the right seats. And I've used many other personality profiles before, but this one is very good. It's very good at doing that.
You guys, it doesn't mean they're going to like the job that they're doing. It just means they're going to be the retention is going to stay there. You're going to know if they're going to last in that job or not.
It really comes down to do they have to push themselves energy wise to do the job because they're really not naturally inclined towards it, or are they naturally inclined towards it and it just they can just do it without having to really push themselves too hard because it comes naturally to them. Because most people can do any job. It's just a matter of how hard it is for them, how much energy it takes. So you want to get people in a role that fits them to where they're not having to drive themselves every day to do it.
Right. Again, we help you out with that. We help you out from the start to the finish. All right, just to wrap up a little bit more about, again, we kind of went through, how we hired, what we did. I think we got into the weeds a little bit more of our story, but I like that. That's exactly what people want to hear. I believe.
So I think so far we've only gotten up through 2017 or early 2018 maybe on people. So this was still 7 years ago. The growth.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. What did we learn? I think we've already pretty much said it, from hiring back then to where we're hiring now.
I think the biggest things are knowing which role to hire for first. I think we kind of got lucky and figured it out okay, but we have a very clear idea of how to do that now. Which jobs to come first.
I don't want to say lucky anymore. We're blessed and we are smart people to figure out problems. I like being a problem solver.
Yeah, we both
I
are.
think we're really, really good at being a problem solver.
Yeah. I mean, I think we also had some wind at our back. I don't look at a lot of this stuff that happened, and I'm like, there's God's hand on a lot of this stuff, it seems like. Right. But that's just my opinion. So I think, understanding the owners' personalities and where they fit in the company, and then how you have to build around the owners, because every business is different. So then you figure out which seats you need to hire first, and then what those people need to look like. We know exactly how to do all this stuff now. And I remember 7-8 years ago, it was a total mystery to me. I was like, how on earth would I know? How would I know any of this? Like, how would I know any of this stuff?
Jaden, I still remember sitting at one of our very first mastermind. We've only been doing this for about 2.5, 3 months. We're down in San Diego. I don't know if you remember that. Oh, yeah. And all of a sudden, we're on a hot seat. Like, KPIs. Thank God you knew what KPI meant at that time. Because you guys, we were literally sitting, they do these mastermind groups, and you get on, it's a hot seat. And you tell them you're a success, and they'll either clap your hands or, hey, you're doing it wrong, or, hey, here's how you can help out. Everybody looked at us and like, well, you guys are doing everything correct. The problem is we didn't even know part of that. Again, we learned a lot, right? We just jumped in.
Yeah. I know the feedback we got a lot early on was like, how long have you guys been doing this? We're like, I don't know, like 12 months. And you're doing how many deals? And then, but it took me 10 years to do that, you know?
So we did crack the code. Yeah, we cracked the code. And again, it comes back down to, hey, if you're looking in the licensing, that's where we're there. But I think what everybody forgets is you literally have an executive team behind you to help you make decisions moving forward.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing that I got tired of having to guess all the time. Like, I just didn't like, what else could we do? We didn't know. We just guess,
We guess. You know what? Hold on. Let's say that we did a very educated guess.
Based on, some of this stuff, like how to hire the right people for the right, like I had very limited knowledge on how to do that. So I would say it was a very limited education as far as the guessing went.
But again, that's where I like where you and I we're able to have those conversations. We're able to, Jaden, either one of us has a marketing degree, but look at our marketing. We figure stuff out. We sit there and talk. I'm sure people are going to love this, or I know people are going to love this. Just start.
Well, the marketing agencies that we've hired, I don't think they're good at their specific thing that they do, but they're not better at like big picture marketing than we are. I don't think. I have not met one that is.
Right.
So.
All right, Jaden. We just got done talking about like our hardcore, like in the very beginning, where's everybody at now? So Jaden, tell us about what our team looks like now. And let's actually start with, let's end with where we're at.
Yeah.
But let's start where's Jen at now?
Yeah. So I'll just start with the structure of the company from an org chart perspective. That's how I think about this stuff. So we have an executive management team, I'd say 3 people basically, or 2.5, however you want to cut Shannon. So Jen is on the executive management team, and I don't even know what her exact title is. What is her exact title? Is it Vice President of Operations?
Yeah, it's like she does all the what's really stinks. She does all the stuff that doesn't generate money.
Well, it's VP. Operations. That's what it is. COOs don't generate money.
Yeah.
Not directly, they don't, but they do generate the bottom line.
Correct.
So
correct.
That's check that thought, because the COO is like the sales director will generate the revenue, but the COO is the one that makes sure the revenue actually generates profit at the bottom of the P&L. Sure. Right. So there is an effect on the bottom line.
So I think what we need to do is like start off. Our business is set up as a collaboration. It's always been that way. It wasn't at one time. and we're getting it back. So Jaden and I ultimately do make the final decisions on a lot of things, but what we try to do is we empower our team to make those decisions and make the correct decisions at the
We've
end.
always been that way because I think both me and you were like, if we don't empower the people that we hire, we're going to end up having to do, be very involved in all these things and micromanaging and stuff like, what is the point of hiring somebody and micromanaging them? That didn't help you at all.
That's not, that's more of a dictatorship. And
yeah, you need to hire good people and empower them. From day one, we have people a lot of autonomy and a lot of freedom, and we a ton of trust, a lot of trust. I mean, incredible amounts of trust that we give people. And
again, if you're looking at the licensing stuff, we'll show you the safety nets that we've actually put in place too, because there is going to be some safety nets.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, a lot of it's in the financial systems that you have is where you need to have a little safety nets. But
right.
So right now Jenna is like VP of operations. Then we have Paul, who is VP of revenue. Is that correct? VP of revenue. So that's our executive management team. We have executive meetings weekly to review the KPIs for the business. We have also a fractional CFO that we meet with. I believe he meets with
every other week.
Yeah, twice a month. That me and you meet with him once a month or once every other month.
Very painful, but yes,
we don't meet with him as often. But we also have an accountant controller on staff, which I would call the controller is basically executive management as well. Financial controller is basically a step below a CFO. So you have a CFO, controller, and then like a bookkeeper accountant. So we have that controller in office.
We have a controller accountant in office that does not look like a controller or an accountant.
He brings his dog to work and he likes to fish, and it fits really well with the company.
He fits 100%.
So we've had a controller since very early on in the business. I think that was our next hire probably after we hired Matt was our controller. I thought it was really important to have a good financial system very early on, and I knew I wasn't going to be the one to do it because I'm not a detail-oriented person. So we brought a controller in and I'm glad we did because the real estate investing is very difficult to bookkeep for if you don't do it right. So we've always had that. It's been very important to the company to have good accounting, and we know how to set up. You cannot use a general business accounting system or a general small business system through QuickBooks. It will fail. So you need to know how to do it right, and most people, even accountants and bookkeepers, don't know how to do it. So we know how to do it. We figured it out. We know how to set up the books right.
Hold on.
So that's something
we spent a lot of money figuring a lot of this stuff out.
We spent a lot of money figuring all of it out. Yeah. So I feel like we've had very good books for a long time, and we get that feedback from a lot of people that review our books. So we've got our accountant, controller on staff in executive management, Jen and Paul, and then we have fractional CFO. Fractional CFO just means that we have them very part-time, a few hours a month, which we don't need more than that. And we have a fractional COO, and she's definitely more involved than the CFO is. She's involved pretty much on a daily basis. And a COO is more in like the structure of the company, getting KPIs, the systems, the right people in the right seats. She's really good at helping with communication and development of people, development of talent, helping hire the right people. So she's just really good resource just for that and probably a lot of other stuff that I'm forgetting too. So she's in the executive management team. And then me and James are part of that team as well.
So again, Jaden and I do control of like where everything is going. But again, we trust those people in those spots.
Yeah, we have the final say on things, but generally we're going to go with what's recommended unless there's some reason that we see not to.
You guys, I use the example all the time. You don't hire a plumber to come over to your house and fix your plumbing, and then you're right over his shoulder telling him what to do. Why did you hire a plumber?
Let people do their jobs.
Let people do their jobs. You hire an expert to be the expert. Let them be the expert.
Yeah. So me and you, I think we're, I don't know. I do a lot of different stuff. I would say the big stuff I'm responsible for is like the vision for the company. Where are we going? What are the big things we're going to do next year? I try to think about like, what are we doing next year? What are we doing 3 years from now? What's 10 years from now? And what do we got to start changing now? I also think about like just the market. How's the market changing? How do we need to adapt? How do we need to change our strategies to compete with what's going on in the market? I'm constantly analyzing interest rates, the housing market, the Fed, everything else. So that's just stuff I do naturally. So it's not like, if somebody else was in this role and didn't have those aptitudes, they may not do those things as much. But That's what I do. I deal with the technology stuff a lot too.
Right. But Jaden, not everybody's like you, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm the CEO, but like I do the stuff that I'm good at. So
no, what I'm trying to get is that I want everybody to think that, like, sometimes the way we think, you're worse than I am, but you guys, we run into a business, we automatically look at that business, and that's where Jaden will start breaking down the business and like this. There's no way this company's making money. How are we in here? He likes to break down a business. I like to break down a business to find out how this is actually a business. That's part of that's like a hobby. And so that's where you like to dig even deeper into some of these businesses, especially our own, right? That's where you come up with really great ideas.
Yeah. So I deal with like the stuff that from the beginning, I'm like, how do I just spend the time on stuff I like doing that I'm good at doing? Because at the beginning, I was doing everything, and I'm like, I really hate paperwork. So like, Jen, here's paperwork, all the I can mail. Here's the mail.
Hold on. I want to show everybody how you clean off your desk. That's how he cleans his desk off.
That's my filing system. Just pick it up and move it.
Yeah, every month. So when we actually had our offices, we actually had offices at these had desk and everything, and that's literally how Jaden cleaned his desk off. He's like, well, if I haven't used it yet, I'm probably not going to use it.
Either it goes to Jen's office or gets filed in this box under my desk. By filed, I mean just dumped in there.
Oh, all right. So Jaden, we actually have, I want to say 20 employees from VAs and everything. So really quick, explain. We have 2 leads people.
Yeah. Well, so I was doing the org chart from the top down, right? So I got me and you, the executive team, the CFO, COO, Paul, the revenue, and Jen in the operations. So the business has revenue coming in. They've got operations that manages all the structure and all the expenses. And so that's pretty much the executive management structure there. Below us, then you have so like Paul, VP of revenue, he's got all the sales and inside sales leads management people are under Paul because he's VP of revenue. So the leads team, which is 2 to 3 people, I said 2 to 3 because we have one on maternity leave right now. We might have another one soon. And then
you don't want to become a leads person because you're going to be if you're very fertile or need to get pregnant, need to get hired by us.
I keep getting pregnant. So anyway,
leads person.
We should market that as a service.
Right.
As a service.
How to make money.
Anyway, so our leads department has gotten very good this year with the help of Shannon and Abby, I should mention too, who works with Shannon. Abby's been very helpful. So she's part of the fractional COO service. And they come in and they're looking at a department of our business and say, hey, this could be run better. Let's re-architect this department with systems and KPIs and processes, maybe even different people to make it work better. So they've done that in a couple of departments, leads being one of them. Our sales team is 4 people currently. We might add another person next year. So might go to 5. So that's under Paul. I think that's everybody. And then Paul has a VA in the Philippines. Not a VA. He is a full-time employee of Minnesota Home Guys. He just lives in the Philippines, so he works remotely.
You know what? I like that. I like that you said that because you guys are VAs. I don't even want to call them ever.
They're not VAs. I don't believe in VAs. We've tried VAs in the past. I don't believe in VAs. They're very hard to work with, to get value out of. We hire people that happen to maybe live in a different country that are on our team, and we treat them just like they're members of our normal members. We had our Mexico employee was just here last week. Our Mexico employee was just here last week. She's not a VA. She's part of the team. She was in Minnesota, hung out with us. And then we'll have the guy from the Philippines, Vaughn, will be up
next month,
November, I think.
Yep. So it's awesome. We're here. Let's bring the guy from the warmest country. Let's bring him in November. So I don't know what the hell we're thinking.
Get some clothes for him. So Vaughn helps Paul with the sales department. And then we're actually looking at hiring another Philippines full-time employee to help the sales team. So the sales people will have their own assistant to help them. And what else is there? That's pretty much the sales department. Operations, we have a full-time transaction manager who basically works the closings from contract to closing. That's a full-time job. If you're doing any more than 30 or 40 deals a year, you get a full-time transaction manager basically to do that. So we have her. She's in the office.
Hey, I just want to let you know that Jen was doing all of that, and it finally got to the point where Jen's job is being split up by like 3 different ways.
It took us 5 years to make that happen, but yeah, we finally.
She might like say 9, but whatever.
Yeah, well, it finally. Yeah, so we have. So she works for. She's kind of Jen's assistant too, and so we're going to have her be Jen's assistant, and we're going to hire another transaction manager. We have our marketing, 2 marketing people. We have one lives in Mexico City, and then one lives in Wisconsin, and those 2 report to Jen, I believe, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so
no one appoints to Jaden and I don't know why. Why is that?
I don't. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, right.
So, I'm pretty sure they work for Jen. So yeah, those 2, and then construction. Does construction report to Paul?
Construction's going to report to Paul. Yep.
Yeah, so
I'm going to be on that too.
That's probably going to change. So we're starting a construction company, a separate company right now, and so for next year we're going to have a separate company that's doing that. And I think eventually that person won't report to Paul, but for right now maybe he will for now.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
We don't want to. So that's a new thing. We don't want to spend too much time on that. But then the construction. Once you're doing construction, you can have a whole team of people into that too. And right now we don't. We're kind of revamping how we do construction. But we'll do a podcast next year on that. That'll be an interesting one.
How we built our construction team up.
Yeah. What else? Am I missing anybody? Hope I'm not missing. I think that's everybody.
No, I mean we didn't really say a lot of names, so that's good. So we can't.
Probably good that I didn't say a lot of names. I didn't mention the person that's making the podcast. I'm not sure if he wants to be on.
I don't know. What's his? I think it starts with a B. The guy that runs our podcast. Thanks, Brady. So basically, in a nutshell, I think we got like 20 people. You guys call us up, ask us. You're going to see some stuff at the bottom. If you guys want to know anything more about how to become a Home Guys licensee, wherever you're at, we'd love to sit down and chit chat with you, see if you're a good fit. At the end of the day, we interview you as much as you interview us. We're trying to build a Home Guys nation, and we got some great people already. And we're all looking for even more great people to join our team, to be part of something else than it's not just about buying houses. It's about a community. We're here for you. We're here to answer questions. We're also here to have fun. You guys, we even had guys that already came up to Minnesota, wanted to come up to Minnesota again, the Knoxville guys, and brought their team members to learn from our team members. We're here to help. We truly are. Jane, you got any last final words?
Yeah, just to add to that a little bit, since we're still fairly early on in this process, we've got 3 that have started the last year or so. The cool thing now is that we can offer more value right now than we will be able to in a year or 2. So, for example, we have a licensee in Orlando, and he's working on building a investment fund, which we've done. We have all the paperwork for it. We spent $50,000+ doing that. We've been through all that. So I basically gave him all of that. But then he's got questions about, well, how do we manage it? How do we do investor communications? How do we do all the I'm like, well, let's just get on a phone call with our internal accountant and our CFO, and they can tell you exactly how to do this stuff. We're not going to be able to do that in the future, once we have probably over 10 or 20 licensees. But right now we can do things like that. So we can really give you a lot of access to the company right now. Mm-hmm. That's not going to last for a lot longer, probably.
I think they're going to get it, but they're not going to get it from us. I think that's
what I don't want to do is offer access to our internal people that are busy working on our own business.
Right.
We need to definitely limit that. So when I'm doing stuff like that, I'm being very cautious about it.
Right. We're already starting to set that up too. We've already changed a couple stuff. I don't even know if you know about this yet. But we're going to have more of hey, you get 6 months of your own coaching, an hour a week. Or half an hour a week. Now, then it goes to group coaching, and it's a quick phone call. You jump on, guys. You're going to have. Jaden is correct, but I think you're not going to have 100% direct access to us. And I think there's a lot of people that want direct access.
What I'm saying, I think right now you pretty much could get that.
Correct.
People have been getting it, but as we grow, it's just going to get a little bit. There's more people involved. It's going to be less. We can only do so much.
It's
So-
what we want. We're gonna do 2 different outings a year. One of them is gonna be, we're always gonna bring everybody here, or we're gonna invite you guys to Minnesota for some really good training, and then we're always going to do one away. So again, I hate to say it, we're probably gonna go to Cancun, or maybe even keep it into the States where we
well,
go.
we thought Mexico City. Maybe we'll go visit our employee down there.
Yes, that's for executive one, right?
Yeah, I'd love to go visit Mexico City.
Yeah, right.
Fun.
So you guys were slowly building this. We're not doing this fast. This is a lifestyle. This is what we're doing. And we're doing it with people that we want to hang out with and enjoy. So again, if you want to hang out with us and have an awesome business, give us a call, wherever, kind of go from there. Again, Jaden, thanks so much. Right. Thanks so much for doing this. I think this was a really good one. I think this was, I think there's a lot of little quick lessons that people can learn.
It's a long one, but it's the genesis of our business for the last 8 years. So
yeah, it really is. So, hey guys, just remember, do the right thing. The money will follow. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.